And before we go to break, here's the answer to that trivia question. Which former Zag has the highest single-season scoring average? The answer is C, Frank Burgess. He averaged 32.4 points a game back in 1960 and 1961. And welcome back to the Mark Few Show. All right, Coach, the season's just a matter of days away now. What's happening at practice? Do you gear them up differently now as we get closer?
Well, I mean, we're gearing up. These count now. All of these go on our resume at the end of the year that, you know, you want to present to the NCAA tournament that'll get you a bid. So, you know, all the scrimmages, all the exhibitions, all the preseason practices are done, and now you're playing for keeps. So there's a different sense of urgency coming on because the games just start hitting. You know, sometimes you have 2 and 3 a week here. And so we're just trying to tighten everything up and making sure we're organized on our sets and our out-of-bounds plays and our defenses and still keeping with our core beliefs as far as kind of working on them every day, kind of the foundation drills I call, defensively, rebounding, and offensively.
And I know the starting 5 for you is the most overrated thing for you. You've told me that before, but do
you believe me?
I'm not sure yet. Have we penciled in at the 4 yet?
You know,
that's still wide open for you?
I think there's a couple spots. You know, I think we got some guys that are coming on strong and have shown that they might be pretty good when the lights are on. So I don't think this is a year where, you know, you're just going to pencil in a starting 5 in November and it's going to be the same all the way through January, February, and March, because we've got a lot of guys that are different games but equal in ability.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll wrap up.
We're remiss to not mention your Yankees.
27. How about that,
championships in a row.
World
I know
championships.
how much that means to you. So congrats to Derek Jeter.
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
It's been a really good week. We'll see you next week on the Mark Few Show. All right, welcome to the Mark Few Show. I'm Greg Heister, and Coach, the season's underway now. You're 1-0. Let's go back to the game, kind of break it down. What'd you see? What'd you like? What didn't you like?
I mean, I thought our top group played pretty darn well. I thought we got off to a good start. Thought we moved the ball and got the ball on offense where we could be successful. Right now, Rob's delivering pretty well down in there, as is Elias. And our ability to kind of figure out, you know, where maybe some of our mismatches are, where we have advantages, and obviously we're a little bit bigger than Mississippi Valley State, so we were able to jam the ball inside, which we talked about doing. There were stretches of, you know, pretty good defense, but then it seems right when we'd be on the, you know, the brink of maybe blowing them out or putting it away, then we'd have a turnover and a couple defensive letdowns. So, you know, that happens. You really got to kind of tip your hat to Mississippi Valley State. They played back-to-back games, and I mean, they came in and played hard, and they shot the ball great from 3. I mean, you still got to make them from out there, and they made them.
And one of the things you got to feel good about is we've seen the exhibition game now, and you watched them in the exhibition against Texas, but also this game now. There's energy throughout the entire game, Coach. I mean, this team does not seem to let down at all. They play hard. You don't agree?
I guess that's your take on it. So,
it sure seemed like it to me.
Yeah, well, a good thing you're not coaching. No, I thought our second group kind of let down a little bit. I was a little disappointed in them. I have higher expectations of some of those guys. I think they really need to. We shouldn't drop off at all, like you say. And I think that's what they got to bring. If you're coming off the bench, you gotta lift this squad up. You gotta lift the team up, whether it's with, you know, defensive intensity or rebounding or you know, just making hustle plays or just being organized, getting us organized. We're a little bit disorganized as far as what we're doing with our press, what we're doing in the zone, what we're doing in different phases there. And so, you know, that group needs to, whether they were nervous or or maybe struggling with just the adversity of the quickness that Mississippi Valley State was bringing. We got to make sure we're together out there and all on the same page.
And I think you had 10 players score. And I know it's November. By January, February, your rotation is how many players? Do you hope to shorten it, or?
No. I mean, hopefully, I think, we got some guys that can go out there and make plays, and they all bring different, things to the table, and then that's kind of what you want to have here. Bring a guy in that's throwing heat, and then maybe somebody throws a changeup or a hard slider, and that's kind of. We're hoping GJ's different than Meach at the point, and then all of a sudden Manny comes in. He's different than Steven or Matt. Kelly's a different player than obviously Rob or Elias in there. So, kind of just making sure you bring that.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll look forward to Michigan State. Also, we'll take a look back at the decade of excellence. It is the Mark Few Show. We'll be right back.
The program was already a top 20 program at that time, and so there was no reason to go anywhere else, and they were going to give me an opportunity to play soon, so it was perfect.
All right, trivia time. Which player holds the record for the most assists in a season as well as a career? Is it Matt Santangelo, Jeremy Pargo, Blake Stepp, or John Stockton? The answer when we come back.
At the all-new
Leon had me go watch him as maybe a junior. I always remember this. He was at the arena playing, and I remember calling Leon at halftime and just saying, man, I don't know about this guy. He runs weird. He looks weird. He doesn't even bother to run back on defense, or he's yelling at his teammates. And Leon's like, well, they got the stats for halftime yet or whatever? I'm like, no, here, let me go down and grab him. And he's got 30 at half. And so I remember telling Leon, I said, I think I'll stay for the second half.
I remember when he was in high school, and he'd come down and play with our guys in the spring. And Blake, Blake was one of those guys, he really didn't say a lot, but when he did say something, you listened. And he'd come up to the office and telling you, this Morrison guy, he's good, he can score. And I think he was right on there,
We had Adam coming in. It's kind of a wild card, nobody knew what he was going to do until the first game when he takes the ball up the court and makes an 18-foot fadeaway on his first time touching it, but so we knew he's going to be okay.
And I remember just Blake just laughing. We're in Madison Square Garden, he's just laughing, shaking his head all the way down the floor because he'd seen it 100 times, but the guy from St. Joe's, it's kind of like, who is this guy, and that was Mo. That was Mo's first basket as a Zag.
I was excited, obviously, to come here. And just looking at what they did in the years before, with Dickow and Santangelo and those teams and Fromm's teams. And so it was just, an honor to come here from Spokane and to be able to have a chance to play here.
Okay, welcome back to the Mark Few Show. We just heard about, Adam and you recruiting him in high school. Coach, he turned out to be maybe one of the most impactful players, I think, in college basketball history. He was right here on your doorstep, and what a joy he was to have around for those 3 years.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Just such a competitor. An all-time great competitor. Practices were as energetic and as competitive as you'd ever want to see. All 2 hours. If we kept score, Adam was going to do whatever he had to win. And he came right in that year and had an impact on arguably probably our best team we've had here. You could flip a coin here or there, but I'd say probably that team with Blake's senior year, he came in and contributed in a big way on a team that was really loaded and just a great guy, self-made. His dad had such an impact on his game. His dad being a former coach and really teaching him how to play, and very fundamentally sound, and just a